Alrighty, I'm going to explain some things that have confused me a lot. Look at that, fucking chunky. To do with the whole trans fucking thing, right? Because it's like a fucking thing that's going on. If you see a cat paw go over the top, that's that black cat that keeps walking back and forth. It's in the last video I look at the key point where I basically say that I've got every man in Australia a new Chinese wife and legal precedent to have a second wife, which I think that deserves a round of applause. But you'll notice the black cat keeps walking back and forth across the door. Now, either I'm a fucking cinematic fucking, director extraordinaire genius like that bloke that made Avatar, or I don't know, the spirits are helping us. But what I'm going to, and look, I don't actually want to really do this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to step up there and I'm going to talk, and hopefully you can hear me. But I've got some fucking high heels on, boots, because they feel really like supportive and they make my postural chain work better. I've got pants on, and then I've got this on. And for some reason, it feels better, but not necessarily as a woman. So it's acceptable for women to do this, but when men do it, it's odd. But when it comes down to it, it's actually just a piece of fabric. Now, it is odd for me to take this off. I've worn it, but not if I haven't worn it. And I think when I get down to wearing fucking jeans and boots, it's like boots, really? Like my heel elevated because it works better for my body and I move better. And it basically feels like, and this is the weirdest thing to me, is like I went through this period of wearing. See, even the other thing is, as soon as in this, I'm more conscious of like everything that I'm doing. So I went to wearing these fucking shoes because I was like, oh yeah, you need these barefoot shoes because we were all forced to wear these fucking raised heel sneakers. So wearing raised heel sneakers is not feminine, but wearing high heel boots is. But the thing that I can't get to, because it's always like, oh, this is this ultra sexualization. But it's like, I'm wearing more fucking clothes than really I need to in this. If you get down to wearing jeans without a shirt, it's not suitable for me to walk around without a fucking shirt on. In my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do that. I never have since I was a fucking little tiny kid. Which starts getting really odd, doesn't it? And this is like, I'm 38. So this is what I was thinking when I was young. I remember once I had a shower at my auntie's house and she made me walk through the house with just a towel around the bottom. I was like, I don't want to do that. So for some reason, I'm like, this. And it's like, why? I don't know. Ask fucking Adam and Eve. That's been going on for a while. That's a fucking old argument. But the more I get to break down exactly what the fuck it is going on, I think majority of it, it's like, I'm from English descent, living in Australia. It's hot here. I don't like wearing clothes, but I can't not wear any clothes, which is what the traditional people did. And then we're at the fucking point, aren't we? Then we walk right into the fucking room. We're like, oh, so the trans movement is not just some type of it's not just some type of pharmaceutical-led fucking like hypnotics, over-sexualization. It's actually racist colonization. Because if a traditional owner walks into a bank without any shoes on and without any shirt on and with just a loincloth, he's going to get put in jail. Now imagine that. Imagine, what is it? So on one hand, we go 60,000 years. We get Abby Chatfield basically standing up for Aboriginal culture. And I go, hang on, my 180 years down here has made me feel like I want to fucking not wear clothes because it's hot. It doesn't make, it's like I'm rejecting it. I'm like, bah. And then as soon as I don't do that, it's like this twisted thing. And this is all like this. Where's this all originally spoken about? In the oldest book, in the first book in the fucking Bible. They discovered they were naked. Well, that's what this is. Yeah. When I feel like wearing something covering this, I feel like I'm naked. When I put on a shirt, I feel like I'm wearing the clothes of colonization, but not colonization of my culture. Colonization of a foreign invasionary culture, just the same as the Aboriginals did. But this is all taking place down here. See, I can't help but think, considering like the majority of what this trans thing is fashion. And fashion, not stopping at just clothes, but fashion of like speech, movement, all these all included in fashion. Right. And this is what certain clothes will invoke you to move in certain ways and act in certain ways. And that's always been part of fashion. So is the trans movement a rejection of this homogenous T-shirt culture that is forced onto men? Of course it is. And how does it manifest? It manifests in all different ways. We didn't, my family, my ancestors here, they didn't wear T-shirts. Yet my mother forced me to wear them. It was either wear your T-shirt and your fucking whatever, or go to the beach and wear your boardies without a shirt, and only boys can do that, and girls have to cover this. Even though this wasn't allowed, this was illegal for either one to do. We used to have to completely cover ourselves, and this isn't far enough away in history to be at the point where we're claiming that we've figured it out. And not just the fashion. It's like, not just the fashion, we've figured out as well that we can literally chop genitals off and tits off as part of a fashion thing. So what are the, like, on the reverse side, the women that are wanting to be boys or men, well, their thing is to cut their tits off. Why? No one can see their tits. If you cut your tits off, you don't know. No one can tell whether you've cut your tits off, whether you've just got small tits. It's so they can take their shirt off. And it's like, why can't they take their shirt off? Because they've got tits. And you're not allowed to take your shirt off if you've got tits. Why? Because that would appear to be primitive, like a native person. Yet we're having a fucking welcome to country. So it's like, the real thing is, it's like, if we're really welcoming everyone to country, why are we still wearing clothes? And I'll just also note, I'm not trying to say that we should all not wear clothes. I'm just trying to fucking swim around in the culture war and express the little fucking tidbits of information that I've found. Now, already, if I'm like this is the funniest thing of all, because this is what women say. I feel like I look good. I'm like, I like this, whatever. I feel comfortable. I feel like I can move stuff, but I don't want to be up there on camera. Isn't that weird? If I was dressed as a man, I don't mind. Why? Because I don't want to be sexualized by standing up there. So women are right when they say that. I just dress for me. They're actually right. I didn't think they were, but they are. Doesn't it sound like I'm bridging some type of gender gap and fucking doing all these things with this? So it's like, I like to dress sexualized for myself, kind of. Not really, but it's not really sexualized. For me, it's actually for my posture. Because I know if I can keep my posture there and it's like weird. It's actually like I get more expressive and I get more like bouncy. And that's how I was when I was young, before my soul was stripped, before I was beaten into submission by the fucking T-shirts. No, none of my ancestors have ever worn T-shirts. If they were wearing anything that looked anything like a fucking T-shirt, they were enslaved. The standard man fucking T-shirt, and then the thing is, this is how they get around it. They get some fucking starved fucking model to take his fucking clothes off. And you can see his fucking muscles. And he's like... But anyone who's ever... It's like, if I'm like that, I'm starving. I'm starving. And the difference between like this, because what does this do? It covers my man boobs, doesn't it? Now, I cannot have man boobs. I could have strong pecs and strong arms and abs and all this shit. But I'd be hungry and I'd be a slave to the image of someone else, which is what women have been talking about. But women, if as soon as you go to this... You know what I mean? You get pants that cover your fucking belly. You get fucking this that covers this. You get this like voluptuous curvy thing. It's like, do you know how much fucking room, like how much whatever? Women look good until they're fucking basically on the borderline of being obese. They look good. That means humans look good. It's got to be a priority. It's like, what's the priority? I'd like to move and not feel like I'm fucking being snapped over someone's knee, which is what I have been feeling like for a long time. And to do that, I use these tools and then I get moving better. But it's weirdly not that feminine. It's like I might play around and like I try and get to this feminine thing. And then it gets to the whole thing. It's like I'm not actually acting feminine. I'm acting youthful. It's just that if the man acts too youthful, the only people in this current environment that are acting youthful are women. You know what I mean? And then all it takes is a top. And then it's rejected. So what's the real thing that's happening? If you don't wear your T-shirt, if you don't fucking do the fucking thing, we're going to fucking abuse and harass you from both sides. We're either going to fucking force you to chop your fucking genitals off, or we're going to call you a freak. Or we're going to fucking make everyone fucking think that you're out there trying to fucking do all this shit. When really, I'm wearing, as I said, more fucking clothes than I really should have to be. It's hot. I could fucking have a shirt off. My father would have had his shirt off. You know what I mean? This is, what's this bloke, Peking Duck? He's got his fucking hairy chest shirt out at the ARIA Awards. All of this wouldn't have been acceptable not that long ago. Yet for some reason, this changes the whole thing. And this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. It's craziness. Especially when we're in this fucking paradigm of, like, traditional owners, whatever. It's like, they didn't wear fucking clothes. So where do we fucking go? The uniform of fucking the generic uniform, which again, I'll remind everyone, has never existed in politics. The fact that they're all wearing the same suit should be the largest red flag that we all fucking realize. That's never been the case. We invented it. Well, we didn't invent it. We developed it to the point that it's at. And this is like an evolution from our point. And the parliaments that we had, they were wearing high heels. They were wearing fancy clothes. They were lords and gentlemen, all this stuff. And a big part of their job was their presentation, but it was fucking cold there. And now we have a country where we force our Aboriginal senators and politicians, like what's Price, to dress in a man suit. Now, if I go the other way, see, I'm bringing that parliamentary history. I have, establishing parliamentary figures in my bloodline in England, where we brought here. So isn't that the exact reverse? If you put Jacinta Price in a fucking man suit, so it's not just a colonizer fucking uniform, it's a gender uniform already, the suit, because women wore dresses and things like that. And then it's that, But when I go back the other way, you're all fucked. You're all fucked. It's like a what's it called? A bottleneck in a fucking freeway, a peak hour traffic. This argument is going to sink the whole thing. And it literally just is. It's like, even there, I can feel the fucking anticipation if I just go like that. And it's fucking crazy because it's just a bit of fabric. Yet there'll be some bloke at the cricket who's taken his fucking shirt off. So it's like whatever you've walked into the arrangement with, that's what you're offended by. It's very strange. And I can't help but think that the way that this is going to continue is that the abused young men of the country who are comfortable enough to do that, they're going to express historic femininity more than any of the women are. And I made a joke about this yesterday where I was saying, like, oh, the women have tried to explain that OnlyFans is the feminist revolution. But it's not. You've got to flip it if you're going to have the revolution. It's like women using prostitutes would be the feminist revolution, male prostitutes. Not being them. You can see it's all a female fantasy. The whole fucking thing. The whole thing. I have no doubt in my mind that this piece of clothing was invented by men. For men. Like more than likely, as some type of thing, it more than likely was. And we go far enough back and we were naked. See, this is the problem. If I go back to my tribal roots, more than likely on Great Britain where it's cold, we'd wear cloaks and capes and things like whatever, dresses, kilts, all this shit, right? That's the uniform because it was cold. So when you implant that mindset here, you would be this. Because my historic mind wants these covered, because they always have been. They've always been covered. See, we're not like this puritanical, this like thing. That we came here and made everyone wear fucking full-length swimming suits when they went swimming. Because that was our mindset. That was our like Puritan, Protestant fucking English thing. So me getting down to here is a fair bit of adaptation to the environment, isn't it? So what does that mean? How are we governing the country? See, no one in their right mind would wear a fucking three-piece suit in the Australian summer, yet every politician is. The majority of Australia exists outside. The majority of the work that needs to be done exists outside. So how do the Aboriginal people look at us all fucking watching people in a fucking monkey suit fucking dance around in a building and lead us? They laugh at us. Why? Because they didn't wear any fucking clothes. They didn't live in houses. So we're falling over ourselves again. Down predictable lines. It's always the same thing. And the problem is we've created a competition to be progressive. And I will win that competition because you're all fucking idiots. Like you can't progressiveness or like understanding or equality isn't purchased off the fucking shelf. It's hard thought out fucking, philosophy. And so it requires commitment to it. And so the game is to just never be all in. You know what I mean? I'm not all in. So I could take this off right now. Put on sneakers and I'm just a fucking Australian guy in jeans without a shirt on. You can see this all over. You walk down the fucking suburbs and there'll be one of these mowing his lawn, I guarantee you. You know, the screen is that blurry. You can't see if I have eye makeup on or anything like that. You're being led by lines and fucking shadow areas and movement, all these different things. When at the end of the day, the only thing I'm saying is that Aboriginals, whether they were male or female, didn't wear fucking clothes. They covered their bottoms bits, which I've done because these pants don't fit. I've tied a fucking scarf around the opening of my pants. And I am a little bit chubby and I would like to lose weight. Because I've been well fed. I'm a well fed fucking house cat. You know? It's all fine. I'm here on my own free will. You know, I'm not going to make accusations about what this is. All I can say is that it's confusing and it's a very funny predicament to be in because I know what I'm talking about. I've seen the way that if and say an Aboriginal person, and I wish I had this on video. Aboriginal person, I was sitting down having a beer and at this kind of trendy little wine bar in Northbridge, and this Aboriginal bloke walked in, and I started talking to him, and the bloke came out because it was like a street. There was seats outside on the terrace. The owner came out and tried to kick the guy out. I'm like, I was talking to him because he walked through your establishment. And like, this is the level. And he wasn't wearing no clothes. I can't imagine what would have happened if he was wearing no clothes. What was he wearing? He's wearing a big fucking Nike shirt. Do you get what I mean? They said clothing maketh the man. I might end it there. But yeah, something to think about.